This is the dawn of a new era in British karting. Over 550 drivers in 12 classes competing for victory over 18 race weekends. This is the Motorsport UK British Kart Championships.
My name is Alex Goldschmidt. With a competitive MiniMax scene clearly on the rise, not just in continental Europe, but here in the United Kingdom, we spoke with Tristan Rennie, who's just recently come to MiniMax following a spell in Honda Cadet. And Tristan is clearly looking to make an impact on the competitive scene in MiniMax itself.
Honda was a bit slower and less grippier than MiniMax, and it was a bit more competitive. There was a lot more of them. But MiniMax is a lot faster and a lot grippier, and we've been racing every single weekend. Everyone's very close. It's like tense. It's very, very close.
Very changeable weekend weather-wise here at Rowrah in Cumbria at the Lakeland Stadium. And Archie Kitchen, the championship leader in kart number 5, has pole position. Alongside him, number 8, Sam Gornall for Coles Racing. Jez Williams, the Welshman in kart number 68, who has won both heat races. He starts 3rd, ahead of Callum Voisin in kart number 35. Harley Horton in kart number 20 starts on the inside of row 3 alongside Scotland's Tristan Rennie for Project 1 Racing. And then the second Welshman in the top 7, Harry Reynolds, starts kart 77 from 7th alongside Jed Murphy in the number 69 XL Motorsport kart. And Jed was the fastest driver in overall qualifying here at Rowrah on Saturday. Lights out! 15 minutes plus 1 lap of MiniMax racing gets underway. Into the first chicane they go. Oh, it's a bit of a traffic jam, and that's one of the Coles Racing karts going across the grass, but they all emerge unscathed the other side, down towards hairpin number 1, testing out the grip levels for the first time, and they all realise there's not much of it. Into the Iredales now. The second hairpin, the top part of the circuit. And it is Kitchen leading, but Jez Williams stapled to his rear bumper at the moment as they head down to the Stewart S's for the first time. They emerge from the S's on the power, over through the kink and over the rise, down towards St John's Bend for the first time. Kitchen leads Williams. Then it is Harley Horton in kart number 20, the Coles Racing kart with the plain white nose cone. In P3, Tristan Rennie in the red and green Project 1 Racing kart. And there's the gap opening up for Jez Williams. Oh, he has a little look at the inside of Kitchen and just understeers into the race leader. A little bit of contact made. Kitchen holds on. Hopefully Jez Williams' nose cone hasn't been dislodged by that. It does show that in the wet, we had both heat races took place in the wet yesterday. Tristan Rennie dives at the inside of Harley Horton for 3rd, going into the first hairpin, but can't get the kart slowed down, and Horton retakes the position on the exit of that corner as they come up towards Iredales now for the second time. Williams once again looking aggressive down towards the Stewart S's, just swings out a little bit wide. Will he try and get the undercut coming out of the S's? And yes, he does. Jez Williams takes over top spot. The driver of Division Motorsport number 68 from Blaenavon in Gwent in South Wales, passing Kitchen, championship leader, who drives the number 5 kart, driver from Shipley. And now Kitchen takes that very wide entrance into Paddock Bend, and that almost gave Harley Horton an invitation to stick his nose in where Kitchen didn't want it. Rennie is in 4th place. Of course, the Coles Racing team, Kitchen and Horton, they're being overseen by former British champion Sam Marsh. As Williams runs wide at the first hairpin, it's Jez Williams' turn to blink under braking. He managed to keep the kart out of the bark, but did lose the lead very briefly. Now he tries to get it back at the crossover move, coming down the back straight, neck and neck between Kitchen and Williams into the Stewart S's, with Horton and Rennie right behind them. Harry Reynolds in the number 77 kart is up into 5th place. They emerge with Kitchen in the lead. Second is Williams. Third is Rennie. Fourth is Horton. Inches apart. The meeting is now declared open, so drivers can choose slicks or wets. All these drivers in MiniMax on wet tyres. They go uphill through that first chicane, clattering across the curbs, just to give that cart a little bit of extra help, change directions in these very greasy, very slippery conditions. And as the top four have been battling, as Horton gets it a little bit squirrely coming out of the first hairpin, Rennie sliding in the braking, Kitchen defends, going through Iredales. Can Jez Williams take the lead? Yes, he can. So Jez Williams retakes top spot coming through the Stuart S's. How long can he hold onto it for? Down towards St John's on lap number 4. Still 11 minutes plus a lap to go. And as the top four are battling, Sam Gornall in cart number 8 in 5th position has closed in. He's the Coles Racing cart with the plain white NASA panel. And then it's another of the Coles Racing carts with the full graphics kit, number 35, Callum Voisin in 6th. Jed Murphy, the all-white privateer, this is an XL Motorsport driver, plain white bodywork on the number 69 cart. Jed having his best run of the season so far. He's in 7th with Harry Reynolds 8th and Alexander Hughes in the number 9 cart for Tim Wilson Motorsport. He is 9th. He came into this weekend 2nd in the standings, but has had a torrid time so far and is under pressure for that place in the point standings at the moment. Behind Hughes, Ryan Willis rounds out the top 10 ahead of Luke Evans, Logan Parker, Declan Russell, Nicole Sutherland, Lincoln Bailey Arneson, CJ Morgan and Jacob Baldry. Jez Williams leads Archie Kitchen and Tristan Rennie through St John's and into Sunny for the 5th time. Williams has the fast lap of the race so far, 60.94 seconds, and is trying to pull away. Is trying to just ease away at the front. And he's going to try and hope as they come through the first chicane that Tristan Rennie in 3rd place starts battling with Archie Kitchen, which could give Williams the break he needs. However, Jez Williams has already made one slight error under braking for the first hairpin, which is the corner they're going around now. That was a couple of laps ago. So he's going to be a little bit wary coming into that corner for the rest of the race. Just instinctively, once you've made that mistake, you brake maybe just a metre or two earlier, and that means that the drivers behind will see that. They'll brake a metre or two later and could close in, which is what Archie Kitchen is doing as he comes through the kink, down the hill towards St John's. Lots of curb being used. If you hit that curb wrong, it can spit you out onto the tarmac on the outside of the circuit and cost you time. You have to know how to use the curbs here at Rowrah. You have to be inch perfect, and in this weather it is harder than ever to be inch perfect. Into the first hairpin once again. Jez Williams taking that wide line. Of course, you're moving off the normal racing line and braking later and going into the corner deeper, getting closer to the bark on the outside of the circuit than you would do in dry conditions, which is unnerving and unsettling. If you don't get your line right, there is no room for error and you're off, as we saw Jez Williams do a little bit earlier, but luckily he was able to scramble back on and retake the lead. Now Williams beginning to stretch away. His lead at the end of lap number 6 was 0.57 of a second. We're coming towards the completion of lap number 7 into Paddock Bend. It does look as though he is pulling away from Archie Kitchen. Seven and a half minutes plus a lap to go. Williams' lead grows to 0.8 of a second, but Kitchen is very strong through the first portion of the lap, so that is where Williams is a little bit hesitant, and Kitchen takes full advantage. However, Jez Williams' cart is very strong through the second part of the lap. Now, as you can see, there is not a dry line emerging, but without the rain, the normal racing line is starting to change colours a little bit. Every time a kart goes over the racing line, it dissipates a little bit of the water. With no rain in the air, there's no water to replace it. The track drying out very slowly, but it's not going to become a factor before the end of this race. Yellow flags waving down at the Stuart S's. We've got one driver frantically trying to pull his kart back onto the circuit. Get a number check on that driver very shortly. It's Logan Parker in the number 95 Coles racing car, who is back in the race but down in 17th and last position. Jez Williams comes down the back straight, passes the lake to his left into the Stuart S's, named of course after three-time Formula 1 world champion Jackie Stewart. Williams, the kart is a little bit sideways coming through. Sonny's got to be careful, he's got to maintain maximum concentration. Kitchen is still 0.8 of a second behind him, so he's not putting him under any immediate threat, but of course he is close enough to capitalise on any single mistake that Jez Williams makes. Down towards hairpin number 1 again. Williams checks over his shoulder ever so slightly. Comes up towards Iredales. Around Iredales and down the back straight once again. Tristan Rennie in third place has got Sam Gornall within a couple of kart lengths of him. Wonder if potentially we could see a battle developing for third place, the final podium position. In fact, yes, we do, because here comes Sam Gornall in the Coles Racing number 8, within 2 kart lengths now of the number 73, the green and red kart of Tristan Rennie, as they come up towards Paddock Bend. Harley Horton and Callum Voisin run 5th and 6th. Jed Murphy a strong 7th. Alex Hughes and Harry Reynolds 8th and 9th, with Ryan Willis rounding out the top 10. We now have 4.5 minutes to go. Warning flag going out for driver number 44. That is Declan Russell, privateer driver from Dover. The sun breaks through the dark clouds here that have shrouded this former quarry at Rowrah. Well, that will help the track dry out a little bit faster. Jez Williams moving his body round inside the kart. See Kitchen doing the same. In dry weather, that drivers try and stay as still as possible in the seat. When it's wet and they need as much help getting the kart turned in as possible, they do move around in the karts a little bit more than you would see normally, just to try and help move the weight balance from one side of the kart to the other. Out of the first hairpin, Rennie holding off Gornall for third. Sam Gornall having a real look at Tristan Rennie. Yellow flags waving at Iredales. And I'm trying to see who is that's gone off. I think that might be Nicole Sutherland, who has retired the number 30 kart. The number 30 Vision Motorsport machine. Nicole Sutherland out of the race. So, first retirement for the young lady. 16 drivers still running. Williams leads by 1 second from Kitchen. Kitchen a further 1.4 seconds in front of Rennie and Gornall. Gornall is now through, so Gornall has made the move on Tristan Rennie. The number 8 kart, Sam Gornall, third of the point standings, moves into third place in this race at the expense of Scotland's Tristan Rennie. Behind Tristan Rennie is the number 20 kart of Harley Horton. And then Jed Murphy moving into P6 now, with Callum Voisin slipping back to 7th. Alex Hughes 8th, Ryan Willis 9th, and Harry Reynolds rounding out the top 10. But we're into the final 2.5 minutes, and Jez Williams is maintaining his advantage. In fact, last time around. Jez Williams increases advantage over Archie Kitching to 1.27 seconds. He comes out of the Stuart S's through the kink, comes down the hill into St John's, and Williams gave that curb an awful clout. The back end of the cart snapped sideways on him. Jez Williams will not want to do that too often, even though he's got incredible kart control, as have all these young drivers. Williams knows that that was just a couple of millimetres away from being a race-losing spin. He is pulling away. He now just needs to maintain, not increase, just maintain. 90 seconds to go. This is Williams' first season in the British Championship. Last season, it was only this time last year that Jez Williams got his first Motorsport UK karting licence. He started off like all these young drivers in their local track that don't hold licensed kart racing, fun circuits, corporate circuits, whatever you want to call them. That's where Jez Williams started off, and he was still racing in that up to the start of 2017. He got his first licence just over a year ago. Now finds himself 30 seconds away from his first win in the British Championship in MiniMax. So Jez Williams, and I will throw a little bit of trivia out there. Well, we will do it in a bit because we've got 20 seconds to go, but Jez Williams is a fluent Welsh speaker. I'm trying to think when the last time we had a fluent Welsh speaker win a round of the British Kart Championship. I wonder if he'll do his podium interview, if he gets there, in Welsh. We've still got one lap to go. The clock has struck 0. The last lap signal will be given next time around. Into Paddock Bend, Archie Kitchen and Sam Gornall, the two Coles Racing teammates, in second and third. They will not catch Jez Williams, who is now 1,030 metres away from his first British Championship victory. In the rain at Rowrah, on a track that is beginning to dry out and becoming horribly greasy, not full wet. He's got to maintain his composure. Out of the first hairpin, up the hill. We've seen him looking over his shoulder several times. The more experienced drivers tend not to look over their shoulder, but one can forgive Jez for being slightly nervous at this point. Down towards the Stuart S's for the final time. Lap number 16 here in MiniMax. He emerges through the right-hand kink, down the hill, towards St John's, again over the curb. This time the kart doesn't slap out. He avoids the curb at the inside of Sunny quite sensibly. The checkered flag awaits, and it is about to be a maiden British Championship victory for Welshman Jez Williams in his first full season as a Motorsport UK licensed driver. All these young drivers have got bags and bags of talent, but Jez Williams has got future star written all over him, and he has proved it with a dominant win. This is only the second time he's ever been up to the circuit here in Cumbria. Archie Kitchen finishes in second. Third for Sam Gornall. Tristan Rennie comes home in fourth. Harley Horton in fifth. Jed Murphy, a great result for Jed Murphy, coming home in sixth position, with Callum Voisin, Alex Hughes, Ryan Willis and Harry Reynolds rounding out the top 10.
After two competitive finals for MiniMax at Rowrah, Archie Kitching, despite finishing second behind Jez Williams, would take the lead in the standings by 14 points over Sam Gornall, with Tristan Rennie definitely showing he's a title contender by taking third at the final podium of the weekend.
We got into third, and then it just kind of all spread out. We were quick at the start, and then it just kind of let down a bit. We just kind of didn't go as well, and then we just kind of finished third.
Yeah, so it was a good battle all the way through with Jez. We managed to push away at the start, get a bit of a gap, and then Jez got past me and pulled a bit of a gap, and I was just trying to hunt him down then from there. I couldn't really get close enough to get the lead back. So yeah, a really good race. Well done to both of them. And I'd just like to thank Ogden Motorsport for the power and Coles Racing.
Yeah, it was really good, really hard as well. We had to fight quite hard. Archie was in the lead for quite a while. Started third on the grid, and I got into first. I thought just keep it simple, but then I got a gap and I won. And thank you for Vision, Daryl, the team boss, my dad for all the help and mechanicking, and Chaos Sport for the engine.